If you ask anybody about rejection, they're gonna tell you the story about the time they were so heartbroken they couldn't move, being rejected by a family member, being turned away by a church, something that really hurt them, that scarred them so deeply that they can never forget that rejection. The reality is most of the rejection that we have in our lives isn't that. But what we do is we displace that feeling onto all the other things that we do in life. Those really painful rejections we've had in life become a monster in our head. But that monster does not need to come and haunt us at our everyday decisions. And that's what we're talking about today, how to pivot on everyday rejection. I'm John Coplen, and you're watching Architecting You, How to Design the Life You Want. Do you think Obi's worried about getting rejected? You worried about getting rejected? I don't think dogs think about that. I don't know. Do you? No, you don't. This idea is something I heard first from Brendon, who is an amazing motivational speaker and New York Times bestseller. He says that through his research over the years, he's found that most people get rejected 5 to maybe a dozen times in a really meaningful, deep, terrible way. But we spend the rest of our time applying that fear to all of our other decisions in life. And I think it's absolutely true when you think about it. Think about all the times that you have been hurt in your life, really badly. And if you really count them up, it's not as many as you think. 98% of the people that you meet in your life will never know you enough, will never know you emotionally enough, deep enough to ever hurt you in a way that those times have hurt you. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it was terrible, but we have to learn how to not apply that to every little thing that happens in our life. There's no reason that that monster should haunt those small decisions, those small rejections. The first thing we need to do is not reject ourselves before we even get rejected. I mean, how many times have we done this? We want to do something so bad, but we totally chicken out because we're too scared we're going to get rejected. Our inner saboteur comes to get us. I was thinking about asking this guy Ryan out. I don't know, what do you think? Should I do it? I just don't know if I should do it. Like, what if he isn't into me? He's going to reject you. You might as well give up. Just walk away. Forget about it. Just going to reject yourself? That doesn't even make any sense. Just go. Just go. Forget it. Forget it. Just walk away. Walk away. Give up. Reject yourself. Reject yourself before you get rejected. Wow, so you're just gonna give up? You're just gonna give in to fear? That's the way. Just reject yourself, and then you don't even have to worry about the rejection itself. It could be terrible. That's what so many of us do. We listen to our inner saboteur and we walk away before we even have the opportunity to find out if someone's gonna reject us. We reject ourselves before they can even reject us. That's what I wanna talk about next. All of those rejections that are coming at us that actually don't hurt us. They can't hurt us. They don't come from people that have enough meaning in our lives to scar us in a significant way. But yet we are so fearful because of the times that we've been hurt that we forget that these other folks can't hurt us in the same way. So what do we do with all the other rejections that are not that painful? Okay, so one of my absolute favorite TED Talks is Jia Jiang, and he did this TED Talk in 2005. He stumbled upon a website called Rejection Therapy, and basically what you do is you seek out rejection. 100 days of rejection. This man is absolutely brilliant. He basically filmed himself every day for 100 days getting rejected doing something.
Rejection therapy was this game invented by this Canadian entrepreneur. His name is Jason Comley. And it's basically the idea is for 30 days, you go out and look for rejection. And every day get rejected at something, and by the end, you desensitize yourself from the pain. And I love that idea. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'll film myself getting rejected 100 days. And I came up with my own rejection ideas, and I'll make a video blog out of it. And so here's what I did. This is what the blog looked like. Day one, borrow $100 from stranger.
If you're struggling with rejection on any level, especially on an everyday basis, I would highly encourage you to watch his TED Talk. You will get something out of it, and it's honestly just one of the most adorable stories that you'll ever listen to. I'll put the link to his TED Talk below. I have a favorite quote from Dolly Parton which says, "I'll never harden my heart, but I'll toughen the muscles around it." We are going to get hurt deeply in our lives. We're all going to be rejected. I hope we all have heartbreak. It makes us more human. It makes us more vulnerable. It makes us more loving. But what we can do is make sure that we don't drag it and harden ourselves in every other part of our lives, that we don't create a monster that drags into every small decision. So assuming we're all gonna have some of these heartbreaks in our lives, what do we do when we wanna pivot, when it's just an everyday rejection? Most rejection that we experience on a daily basis is actually the beginning of a conversation. And if you don't just turn and walk away, you can learn something about yourself or about the other person. It is not always the end of the road. It's often a way for you to ask another question. And by asking another question, you might learn that the rejection has nothing to do with you. Or you may learn that the rejection has something to do with you, but it's a skill or something that you can go learn. If you just turn your back and you walk away because you feel rejected, you've missed the whole benefit of the rejection. Remember, it's not gonna kill you, it's not gonna hurt, so stay curious, find out, try to dig a little deeper. You may get something out of this that you totally didn't expect. There could even be a solution to it that gets you partially what you want. If you dug a little bit deeper instead of walking away and now you know, here's a skill set that I need to work on, put it into action. Pivot that energy into something productive and useful for yourself. If you can put rejection into action of growth over and over and over again, think about how much growth we could have. Because you know we have all these kind of tiny rejections that happen in our lives all the time. But if we can constantly pivot it and pivot it and pivot it and pivot, man, we will be moving. When I think about rejection, I think about architecture, all I can think about is juries. Most people probably have no idea what a jury is, but basically what it is you work on an architecture project day and night. I mean, you do not sleep in school. And then when your project is ready, you have your model, you have your idea, you have your concept, you're ready to explain it, and you have to stand up and present the project to a panel, which they call a jury, because they're going to judge you. Not only is the jury going to judge you, but they're going to pick your building apart, ask you questions. Now, you can stand up there and you can take it really hard, or you can use that opportunity to have a dialogue about what it is that you could learn. In front of me were several architects working in the world. They knew much more than I did. And while they didn't like my idea, I wasn't taking it too personally. I wanted to know why they didn't like my idea. I always left those juries feeling like I learned something so much more by asking a question, by digging a little deeper, by realizing that the rejection wasn't me, it was a conversation. It was an opportunity to learn. This is the first time I ever learned how to pivot rejection into action. I can't talk about rejection without talking about Pride Month and coming out, because so many of us don't come out because we're so scared of rejection from people that we really care about. And the reality is, this is one topic where it can really hurt. When I came out, I had family members who rejected me, and it was devastatingly painful. And it really did carry over. For many years into my late 20s, I kept thinking, because I'm rejected by my family member and I had this terrible experience, other rejection would happen in my life. It was there, lingering, that monster. I know what it feels like. You know, this year I'm gonna help build a pride float and I'm gonna walk in the parade, and I've never done that. I'm out and I'm gay and everyone knows it, but I've never actually experienced walking in a parade. I think it's gonna be really freaking awesome. I wasn't gonna film this, but then I kind of got inspired to do it because I just got back from the Pride Parade. And I have been out of the closet since I was 25. So for me, it's nothing new to feel like a feeling of being out and gay, but I have never once, what are you doing? I have never been in a Pride Parade, never. And I wasn't exactly expecting the emotional response that I got from doing that, the release that I had. And what I realized is how much it's tied to the idea of rejection. You know, we fear coming out because we're nervous that people will reject us, the people that are very close to us. That level of rejection, something we get rejected for because of who we are, That rejection is the stuff that hurts so much, but it's also the stuff that is so rare in life. You know, that level of rejection is the kind of rejection that rarely happens, but it's the stuff that burns in our mind that is so damaging to us, that makes us scared of all other rejection. And I went to this pride parade thinking it'll be fun. We built the float. I had so much fun building the float, and I thought it'll be so much fun just to walk in the parade. I wore a tutu and these suspenders, which is just playful and amazing and tied in with our float. The idea was that we're clouds and butterflies tied around this magic carpet. Anyway, walking in the parade, I just felt like I have never had the chance in my life to be so freaking gay and just march my way down this parade route. And I not only marched, but like I danced the entire way, and it was so joyous and amazing. And I don't know, it just made me think about how much time we spend being fearful that we're gonna be rejected. And in the end, when we just do what is right for us, when we get past that fear of rejection and walk directly into it, even now at 43, when I have never been in a gay pride parade, I wasn't really scared of rejection, but I certainly was just releasing some last bit of reservation about just letting myself out and being gay and having fun. And it was so rewarding. I think that's what's on the other side of rejection. Once we get past the feeling of what might happen, the freedom of not caring so much about what other people think, that's what's on the other side of it. And it is the most freeing feeling. And so it's one more way to get comfortable with rejection, is to put yourself continuously in a place where you could be rejected, where you might be rejected, and then understanding that that rejection, it won't kill you. And not only won't kill you, but you can learn so much from it. Remember, only you can do this. Only you. No one's coming to do this for you. No one's gonna get up in the morning and say, work on your rejection. It's one of the best life designs that we can ever put into place. Only you can do it. So get out there and make it happen.